we'll give you a little sneak peek first. Here's the phone.
Oh, nice.
How does it look? We can dive into that.
Oh, nice. So this will become slightly bigger, I guess, the camera. Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and again, as you can see, I'm in a very different set. Last year also very similar. I was in Bangalore, so Anuj and Sandeep invited me. Why don't we have a candid conversation? And they were very curious about the 14 Ultra because if you guys know, I'd purchased this, now have used it. And they told me like, what do I feel about this one and what are the things that I wished were there? Maybe I'm going to be critical a little bit, maybe
Sure.
what Sandeep will put in light and Anuj can also put in light. So overall, I would say a good smartphone. And still, if you see many of my thumbnails on my channel, I like to shoot it with this one, with the 3x focal length. To be very frank, I didn't use the 5x that much, only when I'm traveling or something. So 3x gives me that very good photograph, gives that natural blur. And typically, I would say, Sandeep, it feels like the photographs were taken from a dedicated camera instead of that smartphone look. That's what I like.
Right.
So, to be very frank, again, Anuj, from the camera point of view, I like the phone still. Still, it is doing a good job. Yes, the front-facing camera, again, if I recall, I said it in my review also that time, harsh lighting at the background, that HDR highlights, it was blown away. So that is one area I would say I feel should have been improved, considering this is a camera-centric smartphone.
Sure. Yeah. So both the front as well as the back is what you're saying.
No, back is good.
Yeah.
Front-facing.
Yeah. No, as in it needs equal weightage almost. Like
Yes,
front
yes,
also
yes.
should be given you.
To be very frank, I like shooting from the back, but front, I like, okay.
Right. No, I think it's a constant process of evolving and improving, right? So if you remember with, the 14 series is when we got 4K on the front for the first time. So until then it was only 1080p. So we are constantly listening to feedback, figuring out where we can improve things. And basis, whatever we have done over the past year, I am fairly confident that even on the front, now our algorithm, etc. is much better.
Okay.
So you would, I would say, be more pleased with the output now. And obviously, we are also continuously making tweaks, even on the 14 Ultra or the 14, right?
Okay.
We're issuing updates which always improve the overall output itself. So that's something we're working on. And obviously, we'll speak a bit more about that. But any other thoughts that you have?
I don't know if this can be done on the 14 or in the future versions. This is a little bit too AI because I've seen this. The video quality, in fact, I'll tell you, the video quality is actually, people keep asking me, how's the video quality of this one? If you see on my channel, the Tata Curve video, which I had shot on the launch, the entire video was actually shot with this one.
Oh.
But for the microphone, I was not that confident. So I just used a DJI microphone. So the video quality was decent. And the biggest credit I could say is nobody in the comments said, "Arey, video quality, from which did you shoot?"
Correct.
So that means it did a good job. So video is good. But audio, I feel sometimes if there is wind or something like that, maybe, I don't know, the AI evolution or whatever. Here is one thing I feel can be improved. Maybe can it reduce those wind noise or some distractions using AI?
So answer is yes, but it's also a bit complicated. I think answer is yes because we have that feature. I don't recall if we had it on the 14 Ultra, but we have it in the new set of phones that we're having, which reduces the overall wind noise, which reduces the background noise that you may have. But with that said, a dedicated microphone, by virtue of physics, being closer to you, will always work better.
But see, a person like me, we have dedicated I'm talking for a regular user.
So I think for a layman, it will be better than it has ever been before, right? I think that's something that with AI we are able to do. We're able to have that, and you can also choose, like on the 14 Ultra itself, you can choose which direction you want the mic to be. So because it has 4 mics, you can choose whether it's only the front or the back or both. So that also helps to a bit, because most of the time, if you're actually doing a POV type of shoot, right? Whether you're speaking about the curve and you're talking about it, you are actually behind the camera, and you're talking about something that's in front. So you need not have the audio from in front where there might be a lot of noise, etc. But so you can actually choose that selection.
These things, I would say, for a layman user, you go in the pro mode and you're doing this.
Yes, I get very
it should have that intelligence.
Intelligence.
That's what AI for me is. Not just image removal, one AI. That's what AI is.
No, I think the tuning has gotten to a level where even with all mics on, maybe it can do that, selectively choose what to disregard of sorts. Yeah.
So this is regarding the video thing that I would say I made some notes. Sometimes, okay, this is one thing personally I would say will be applicable for almost all Leica models, not only this one. We have that black and white Leica look. That's what this is famous for. But there is no direct toggle for it. You have to go into the filters and do it. So it's every time a 2 or 3 step process.
So in the 13 Pro, if you remember,
Yeah.
if you went into portrait, the 35mm was automatically.
Yeah, it was automatic. Here you have to go into the filters and then you have to do it. It's always a double step thing. And that is something, look, for a creative look, I actually like that.
You like that.
What you could do is, in the camera settings, you could keep it as save the last camera mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So in that, for example, on portrait, if you did move it to this particular filter, it'll retain those settings.
Which actually, that's a great
I would say having a direct toggle that like a black and white
which I
mode.
think is like a fast shot mode, which I think Anuj uses
Fast shot,
quite a lot.
I use quite a lot.
Okay.
So since you said you're using the 3x quite a bit, fast shot, what you can do is just configure, say that I'll shoot at 3x, I'll shoot with black and white, and I'll shoot maybe I want to compensate the exposure to be -1, right? For example.
Okay.
So then anytime I just double click the power button, it automatically launches the camera,
Okay.
clicks the photo, and it'll be in that setting. So I think that's a faster way to do it. In fact,
Actually,
we've just gotten used to
I
it.
like the grunginess of the fast shot as well. I mean, it's for street photography, it works really well.
Yeah, that look, yeah. So I think maybe that you can try.
Okay.
But I think point noted, we'll see what can be done. But like Anuj mentioned, the funny thing is the feedback was the other way around that time.
Okay,
They're saying
so
that-
you don't want
yeah,
that.
let's have
I mean,
that option.
I don't think there's anyone who did not like the
Like,
35mm black and white,
Yeah,
but they
because
said
that gives a very different look, and that's the whole black and white Leica
correct.
theme.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people were like, we want to shoot at 35, but I want to retain all the colors as well. So then it
Maybe
becomes a
have
problem.
2 tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, it's always a funny conundrum to be in, right? Like, how do you decide what is the right balance between having enough options or too many options? When it's too much,
And too much also becomes a bit much.
again, most users won't know.
I don't know if you've...
Because I had the opportunity to play with Leica cameras also, and in that black and white mode is the main. You,
Oh yeah. I spent like a good month or two with the Leica M11.
Oh, yeah.
That essentially I was shooting only in black and white.
that's what many people that's the default.
But here's one interesting thing. So I was shooting. So there was a particular shot that I took in the Frankfurt airport when you're
I
coming
still
back from
remember
like a factory.
the flight one, right?
So there's a plane sitting there and very, very moody skies. So I took that from the M11. Now M11, for people who would not have seen it, the base camera is 8 lakhs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then about
The lens.
six for the lens,
six
right?
lens,
And it was a 50mm lens. So I shot the other photo also with 50mm, but on our phone.
Okay.
And on social media, most people ended up picking up our phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he did a blind test and then people chose the phone. Yeah.
So
So it's what computation photography and what, because these days
essentially that, right?
so
So
Sandeep,
it also could be the fact that those images get compressed a little too much when you're sharing.
Which is also true. Like assuming you were to blow it up and have a gallery, then I'm sure you might be able to see.
on the
Yeah,
big screen.
that's
yeah.
what-
But again, most of us, we are just using social media. We're just posting on Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
Yeah,
X.
it compresses like hell.
Yeah. But I think black and white, I don't think any of us would not like it.
Yeah.
But we'll have to figure out.
Well, I think it's a very seasoned photographer's, sort of request, right? Because you have the Leica M monochrome, which shoots exclusively. Like even if you want to shoot in color,
Yeah.
you can't. So, but that's something that people pay extra for.
Yeah.
So I think, good that you're also gravitating towards that. It shows
Yeah, that artistic shot, what you want.
Yeah.
In color, it gives a very different vibe. And that same picture in that black and white Leica,
I think
completely
especially
different vibe.
portraits, it comes out very well. Yeah, that's
Always.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But try the fast shot one. I think
I'll give
that's
that
something
a
that
try.
is
that's a good one
always ready to go.
Get that hack or just say that, okay, I want black and white, this is what I want. Because you said most of the time it's a 3x optical.
That's
with
the
this.
one I personally like
So
the most.
then, like for me also, I'm putting it at 135. and then shooting.
5x. Okay.
Yeah, so that's like crazy. Yeah, so, but it's a personal choice. Some people do 35. I think it's a hack so that you can just shoot without even launching and then figuring out what else to do.
Okay.
Like preset for whatever you like. Yeah.
One more annoyance that I had when you launched this is that, and I think so, people who purchased this one were also a little bit mad about this one. You guys didn't launch the camera kit, and this was considered as a camera centric. The person who is buying this phone is buying it for the camera. Let's get it right.
But for the people who bought it early, they got that reserve edition.
That big box you got, but you didn't get that, what do you say, that
Camera control.
control.
Between the
that
two,
accessory.
which one would you have picked? You would want this big box, or you would
No,
have
I'll take that.
camera kit?
Yeah, it gives a very different. Because I was reading some of the Twitter comments are like, okay, when you're launching this one, so maybe in the next launch or whatever, will that come or no?
Okay, we'll take that feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we'll probably not tell one of our team members worked really hard on that box.
Okay.
Not let them know.
Yeah. So
Okay, fair enough. Point taken. I think what you are trying to say is make it look and act more like a camera.
Because the person who's buying this phone specifically, he is a person who is
a proper photographer
हाँ,
or
photographer.
enthusiast.
Yeah, for him, okay, it's a smartphone, but I take a lot more photographs also. I'm a person.
Sure.
And I'm glad that you went with the 512 gigabyte storage variant because yes, when you take those many photographs,
You need
storage
that.
gets eaten
Correct,
up.
correct.
So please don't launch those
As a
128
question,
and 256 gigabyte in the future.
I think Anuj has a question.
Did you try using the polarizer?
To be
The
very,
one that was there in the box. No?
I
Reserve.
didn't use that much.
For a car video, that would have turned out really well.
Which is true because it cuts
And
out
the
all
harsh
the reflections.
light and all the
reflections. and all,
Reflections. So the lighting, I think. So I've not really tried the ND filter. In fact, I was once thinking of buying a 2-in-1 filter, which has both ND and polarizer.
Correct.
Okay.
Variable type.
Yeah, but especially for car, right? Because what a polarizer does is cuts out the reflected light. So it looks very different. Cars are most of our modern buildings.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah, that brings me to a what do you say, wish dream world feature. Maybe not possible right now. I'll ask Sandeep because he's the camera nerd. ND filters are we talking, right? We have it in some of the dedicated cameras. Possible putting it even on a smartphone? Well, see, that will help in very harsh lighting. And yes, your shutter speed compensates it. But still, if you do that, you get that slightly smartphone-ish look. But if you have that ND filter, it's a different look.
Technically, it is possible. Right?
Okay.
I mean, but it all boils down to
It'll become even bigger.
Correct.
that's what. How thick do you want?
How thick do you want the phone to be? Also, the cost, multiple factors. Yeah. So I think technically yes.
Yeah,
I
but
think this
what
is
I'm talking is that 1% of the audience who is like really.
But then this is 1% of already an elite group, which I think with that filter sort of solves for that.
So when I was traveling with this, I always had my polarizer on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was
He
always
would always
connected.
keep it.
Okay.
So if I didn't need it, I mean, you just kind of
Yeah.
move it off. But especially like indoor lighting and all that stuff, there's a metro shot that I had also shown you.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Dubai metro shot. So it just cut off the glare of the escalators, but the lighting was very nice. So it's able to capture that.
Yeah,
so I used to
think
keep it there.
that is a better take, modular thing, because then people who really want it can go for it. Because obviously you can bundle more and more into it. Then imagine what if you have a phone with a camera grip built in?
Yeah.
Technically that's
It
also
just keeps getting
it just keeps
or
getting
a camera button.
Then
Yeah.
I think so the government will tax it differently. It's a camera. It won't become.
but cellular connectivity is
Yeah.
So yeah.
But one thing I'm noticing, Sandeep, I don't know, it's because of you all. He also is becoming a little bit of camera nerd now.
No, he definitely is. I think
No,
he takes
even
more than
even more.
Anuj takes more photos than I do now.
Oh,
I think.
seriously?
No, I don't think so.
No? Maybe, yeah. But I think I've sort of dialed back. I'm not taking as much as I used to.
Okay.
But then again, this is an interesting thing, right? When I started photography, I used to take a lot of photos. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
there's
I
a
know
saying
that.
that says the first 10,000 photos are your worst, right? So essentially over time, you get better at shooting photos, which means that you don't shoot freely. Like you just don't go snapping everything. You see something, you're like, okay, I want to
Interesting,
capture this.
interesting.
And then I'll just capture it once and I know I have the shot. Right? That's a trained photographer. I'm not saying I'm there, but the best photographers in the world, they do that. Because they don't just go snapping everything. But in that initial phase, you have to, because that's when you build your perspective. That's when you see things differently. Like you look at the light in that corner, a photographer will see that differently from a layman and figure out how to capture. Maybe the texture on that thing. Anuj, I know, will go into macro mode, capture the texture on that shade. So that's where you are thinking differently. You're looking at it differently. I think most people, they just use the 1X funnily, but someone who's buying an Ultra, they know that, okay, there's something more I can experience, something more I can tap into and get, a great result out of it.
Actually, yeah, one problem that I've had is because now it's being shot on a Leica, right? So earlier I could post whatever and blame it on the phone. Now it's just your skill, right? Because I mean,
that's the only variable of
yeah, the camera is so good that if the image comes really bad and if I show it to Sandeep, he's judging me directly, right? But I think that's actually true. So I end up deleting tons of photographs. So
Got it.
I think I'm at that stage where I'm shooting everything and anything. But then I keep deleting stuff saying this is not good enough.
If you use the pro mode, I think so. That's it. But if you use it in the default mode, the processing and everything, the shake, it's so good these days on smartphones.
So,
generally. So
I
it's
think,
very difficult to take a really, really bad shot in the auto mode, full auto.
Correct.
But I think the difference is that you're taking a technically good photo. But is it good from an artistic point of view?
Correct.
I think that's the difference.
And the question that I have to ask is saying, is it ultra level or not?
Can I post it as a sample?
Yeah.
So I have this question to Sandeep, and even because you guys also have used this a lot. So because I feel the camera is good enough, and I like a camera level. I would say your skill level must be 98. I'm 90. If you can take good shots, and average people I show, they say, okay, it's a good shot. Then I'm happy about it. So what else do you think can be implemented in these? Because we have come to a stage now, at least in the flagships, the camera smartphones have become pretty good, I would say. It's not like a couple of years ago where and the best compliment I could say that I got from the 14 Ultra is I was showing some shots to a friend. He had come on my computer, not on the smartphone. And he just asked me, kaun se camera se liya? He didn't ask me which smartphone.
Which phone?
And I think so that's the...
Right.
Once you get that, you have achieved
The
it.
moment you don't think that it's a smartphone, then I think, that's a threshold.
And I think
that
so.
you've crossed.
The good thing that you guys are doing is you guys are not trying to do that over sharpening or etc. That most brands do that, and there that giveaway is there.
How that over sharpening, I think, is built for social media.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't like it because natural when you take a photograph, even with a good DSLR, it's not that sharp.
Yeah, which is true.
So
You have that natural softness and everything.
So this is where this is where the Leica team actually kicks in, right? Because they don't let us do that.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I think the problem is over time, right? Especially like you were saying in the olden days where cameras weren't that good. Having higher sharpness, right, just felt that it's actually a better camera.
Okay.
So it was a easy hack to make people believe that it's actually better, but not necessarily. And in fact, that's what we started doing in 22 with behind the lens, an IP that we have where we showcase our camera phone. You were also there, right? I mean, but just for the viewers, right? We go and experience the phone as it's meant to be experienced, and then say that photography is not just about saying, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, what is the sharpness? 10 means it's automatically good. I think that's sort of, and sorry to name drop, but DxO Mark sort of made it a bit too scientific. And I think that was the wrong move.
That art is not there.
It's not there. So I think that's where Leica came back and is like, no, we disagree. We said that shouldn't sharpness be this high? We're like, no.
Yeah, obviously for flowers photography I see, and they make it so sharp. Natural, that flower texture is not that sharp, boss.
Yeah. So excessive clarity, excessive sharpness, excessive detailing is also a problem at times. In fact,
that's a problem with the overall industry itself.
And that's how
beyond
people,
camera.
I could say, okay, this is taken from a smartphone. That's a very easy thing for me. Okay, this is a smartphone.
I think we've made a lot of these things kind of analytical or objective. We're trying to make it objective without realizing what's the art behind it. And that's where the challenge lies.
That is a problem. But then, as a brand, they are now celebrating the 100th year of photography, right?
Yeah, this is the 100th year of Leica.
So obviously they have way more experience than us, and that is for photography, right?
Okay.
And then, like you said, if you're looking to build an out-and-out camera, not necessarily a camera phone, then how do you do it well? And I think that's what we've been trying. So,
Okay. So, where do you see the series? I know that in MWC you guys are launching the 15 Ultra, whatever. So, like, where do you think that device from this one? What leap? What is the difference, major difference that users can expect?
Sure. Should we?
okay, I think we'll give you a little sneak peek first.
Of what's to come.
You already have? Oh,
Yes.
of course, you might be testing it.
So here's the phone.
Oh, nice.
How does it look and feel first, and then we can dive into the other.
Oh, nice. This has become slightly bigger, I guess, the camera.